Hello to all my family and friends, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5 a.m. Club. It's late afternoon Sunday, and this is the third vlog that I'm delivering today. There are some days where I don't quite feel like vlogging, and there are other days where I just can't get enough of it. So this is the third one for today. And I've come down here to my little getaway. It's at my little bush track close to home, and it's been raining all week, and as you can see, it's very moist, it's slippery, it's indulgently green. I love seeing these ferns. They're just so beautiful and so nurturing, so peaceful. Anyway, it's late afternoon, probably about half an hour before the sun disappears for this Sunday. And it's the eve of Valentine's Day. So what I want to do today is go through yet another book summary. There are thousands and thousands of books that I hope to get through over the next few years. I'm up to about 1279 in terms of the vlogs that I've done, and it's well over 1,000 book summaries that I've been able to share with all my friends and family on my YouTube channel. So today's book summary is entitled Slight Edge by an author named Jeff Olsen. So I'll go and do a walk and talk, being a little bit careful because it is uneven ground here, as you can see, and I've got to be careful I don't roll my ankle, especially at this time of the day, because with nightfall an hour away, it'll be very difficult for somebody to come and find me where I am. So this book, like many books, so because I do thousands, hundreds of books, there is a common theme that a lot of authors seem to focus on and to talk about. And this is yet another one of those recurring themes. It's all about focusing on a goal and basically making small incremental changes to help you generate and enjoy massive outcomes. So it's nothing new. It's not a new topic or anything dramatically different. But one thing that I've learnt, and I've mentioned time and time again, is that each author, each book comes from a different perspective and puts a different spin, adds new colour, new nuance to the topics that we already know. And what it does is it allows you to see it from different angles, which sometimes gives you a different perspective as well, and is able to allow me to draw a line between some dots that I hadn't quite considered before. So the author kicks off the book making a statement that I guess we all kind of know. Our parents tell us all the time. Our teachers at school told us this all the time. But sometimes we forget it because we're all looking for the silver bullet. We're all looking for the easy path, the easy road. But the author reminds us that there is no such thing as quick success. And if you do come across quick success, then it's very rare and of course not sustainable, because it's very, very hard to replicate it time and time again. You know, there's only one or two opportunities that come about that just fall into your lap. But most of the other things in our lives need to be shaped, need to be worked, need to be planned, And this book here will just give us a little bit more information in terms of how we go about it to get the maximum return for the minimum amount of input. So there's no such thing as a quick success. The slight edge is the advantage one gains by just showing up day after day and repeating things over and over again in a deliberate and an orchestrated, measured way. So deliberate practice, deliberate repetition, once done, as I said, consistently, can lead to some tremendous outcomes. In the book summary I did this morning, they posed the question, one of the authors posed the question, what would you prefer? $2 million today, cash in hand, or a penny doubling every day for the month of March? And of course, most of us would say, give me the $2 million in the hand. That seems the obvious answer. But interestingly enough, 1 cent that doubles in value every day in a compound growth phase will turn to $10 million in 31 days. So it's an exponential growth, which is mind-boggling. But once again, that's what this book's all about, and that's what this whole concept is trying to be passed across. The author also says something which I really, really like. It's a powerful and profound statement, that difficult things take a little time to get through and get to do and to master. And the impossible things just take a little longer. So that is a beautiful perspective that is so empowering and so strong. So the author also reminds us that there's no such thing as luck. Luck really is where preparation meets opportunity. I remember hearing that years ago. I may have been at school when one of my teachers at school said that luck is where preparation meets opportunity. And I remember then it really had a positive resonance on me, and just like it does now, it still works. It still presses the right buttons when I say it and when I feel it. The more you prepare, the more opportunity you're going to be able to take advantage of. The more you prepare, the luckier you will get, because preparation means action, means planning, it means doing things over and over again, it means mixing in different circles, competing, benchmarking and baselining your capabilities. And all of those things, sooner or later, along that path, will open up other paths, will open up other opportunities, windows, steps, stairs, ladders, you name it. There are so many things that will come on the path of that person who continually moves. And we learnt in another book summary recently that you just need to do things. You just need to get started. You just need to get moving, because any obstacle, any problem that comes your way, because we humans are so ingenious and teleological in nature, you'll always find a way to solve it. Everything is figure-outable, as Marie Forleo tells us in her book. So the slight edge is about compounding and works in both ways. Compounding or gaining a slight edge could work in a positive way, but if you're doing the wrong things, it's going to give you a slight disadvantage. And each slight disadvantage is going to amplify the disadvantage until you get to the point where, you know, you've stuffed everything up. So compounding works in both ways. It works on good habits and good things that we do, productive things that we do, but it also works on the unproductive habits that we may have picked up along the way. The author here talks about another mathematical example where he says if you took 1% and you improved, or if you added 1% a day, over a month, it would be, I think, 3.7 times more. But if the 1% compounded every day, it would be 38 times more. I'm not sure if I've got that right, if it's over a month or not, or over 10 days. But basically, what we're trying to say here is that addition and multiplication, as we all know, are very different in terms of the outcomes that they lead to. So understanding that compounding is multiplication, and it's a very powerful formula, so much so that Einstein described compounding as the 8th wonder of the world, because it so blew his mind, and of course it blows our minds every time we think about it and look at the examples. Then with that comes some other advice from this author, where he says that we shouldn't give up too early. A lot of people give up too early, and I guess sometimes I could be one of those, you know, like I watch a football match on TV, or I watch sport and there's a minute to go, and I just say to myself, there's no way in the world that they can win. And it's happened to us lots of times when we're watching State of Origin, especially when the Queenslanders are behind, and lo and behold, in the last minute, they're able to score a try and win the series. So another example that the author talks about in terms of compounding is the example of the Chinese bamboo tree. The bamboo tree, once planted, for the first 2 years, nothing seems to happen above the ground, because below the ground, the bamboo tree builds its foundation. It builds its root system, and nothing is seen from above the ground. So to the untrained eye, it appears that everything's fine, everything's dandy, nothing's happening with this bamboo tree. And then all of a sudden, once it's established its root system underground, it starts to shoot up above ground, and within 6 months can form a massive tree above the surface, and it all happens in a blink of an eye. So similarly, this is another example of compounding, where the things that don't appear to be happening, or the things that don't appear to be adding much value, end up showing multiple manifold results when the time comes and it's time to harvest or to see the fruit of one's labour. So the author mentions about positive change, which leads to improvement, and that also, as we say, has a ripple effect. It ripples out. So if I do something positive, or negative, whatever I do, whatever we do, each and every one of us, it ripples, it impacts other people, it impacts our spouse, it may impact our children, our parents, our communities, our work peers, our school, our reputation. Everything that you do consistently will have some sort of impact, either positive or negative. So the author suggests an exercise that people should consider, and that's to set up a worksheet and to look at what you can do to gain a 1% improvement on a daily basis. So you need to be able to measure things, be it, you go for a walk every day or the number of steps you do every day, and then ask yourself, what does a 1% improvement mean in number of steps every day? And once you've identified what it means, then you're able to put it into your worksheet and set it up as a target. Because once we get started, once we start making those small changes and implementing those small changes, the next thing that happens, actually this is a chili tree, check them out. How interesting is that? A tree full of chilies, or what appear to be chilies. I don't know what they are, but they look like chilies, but I could be wrong. Anyway, let's keep on going, keep on chatting. But we'll continue chatting away. So what we're saying is we're building momentum, and we need to learn also to close the loops, reflect regularly on what we're doing, collaborate often, and calibrate. So make small, refined changes to our schedule or to our plans to continue that small incremental growth. You can do it in business, you can do it in your fitness regime, you can do it in your finances. There's no limit to how you can use this concept and these principles in your daily life. So the author also mentions the importance of learning to savour the moment. By all means, work, have a plan, build a fortune, become better every single day. But that also needs to be something that you can savour. I slipped on this before, so I've got to be careful coming back up. You need to be able to learn how to savour the things that you do and to live in the moment. So going back to what we were talking about before, one of the key elements is purposeful training. So whatever we do, whatever actions we take, the author says that it needs to have a why. There needs to be a purpose behind it, and it needs to lead us to our goals, and our goals need to be aligned to our values. So the actions need to be aligned to our goals, which need to be aligned to our values. And once you get that alignment, then it's much easier to do it on a regular basis and to turn the activities into habits. And of course, making sure that you're swapping out any bad habits. Because what we do regularly, what we do over and over again, impacts us at the conscious and the subconscious level, because we go on autopilot. Our habits are autopilot. We don't have to think about them. It's the go-to. We just automatically do them. But what you need to be able to do and to ensure in our lives is that the things that we're doing automatically, subconsciously, without even thinking about them, are the things that we want to be doing. the things that are leading us to where we want to end up, rather than things that are going to be damaging our progress and sabotaging our dreams and goals. So we need to be deliberate in what we do, and we need to be congruent. And congruent basically means that the things that we do need to match who we are or who we want to be, and not to be square pegs in round holes. Because in reality, what happens is that, go this way, subconsciously, we've got a self-image, we've got a thermostat which is running, which will try and keep us on track. So if you're doing things which creates cognitive dissonance, which doesn't align to your values, then you're going to feel uncomfortable about it all the time, either at the conscious level or at the subconscious level. You don't know where it's going to be agitating you and causing you grief. So that's why it's important to get alignment and congruence, so that you're doing and being the person that you've basically designed to be. Because we are architects at the end of the day, architects of our future, architects of our desires. But by the same token, if you haven't got plans, if you're not organised, you may have other people who are architects, and you're basically doing the things that they desire. So you're not really living your life, you're not being true to yourself, and the day will come where you wake up and all of a sudden realise that the person in the mirror isn't the person that you recognise anymore. So once again, congruence, alignment, all of those things are really, really important. So another valuable lesson, one of Aesop's fables that I remember as a kid, and I enjoyed oh so much, the fable of the tortoise and the hare, is all about gaining an edge. Remember, we had the hare who could run fast, but was a scatterbrain, was running here, there, and everywhere, didn't really have a focus, didn't really have a goal, didn't really have a deadline or a time frame that he was working to, but just did whatever popped into his head at that particular moment. So he was very much, just bear with me, I'm just coming down a path here which is a bit wet and slippery. So the tortoise and the hare, and the tortoise was very, very slow, but very, very deliberate. Knew exactly where he was going and took one step after the other, and wasn't influenced in any way, wasn't distracted in any way with what was going on around him, and basically got there ahead of the faster hare. So as we said, get started, you will figure it out. And if you don't figure it out, you'll find somebody to help you figure it out. As every problem has multiple solutions, and we've said that before. So we just need to stick through it, stick to it. And the big lesson that I've learnt throughout my career is that we keep on plugging along day by day. You know, we just keep on doing what we do day by day. But eventually what will happen is we'll have a breakthrough. We'll have a massive breakthrough which will take you to another level. And once you get to that other level, things will have a different perspective, and you won't fear the things that held you back once upon a time. So a powerful lesson to build momentum, because as we said before, every road, every path has a hump in it, has potholes, has debris, has dead ends. We need to make sure that we've got enough momentum, enough fuel in the tank to keep on going, to get over those humps and to get back just in case we get lost, because we will find a way over, under, through. Just like children, when they want something, doesn't matter what you put in their path, they will find a way to get to where they want to go. So we need a desire. So the author calls us to action to make sure that we build the right desire for the things that we want to chase, to gain clarity, to be able to see clearly what we want, and to understand that as we go along the path, we'll find more and more perspective. We'll gain a better view. We'll see the obstacles well before we get to them in most cases, because the future rarely presents itself unannounced. And the more you do, the more experience you gain, the better you are in terms of being able to deal with the challenges that you come across on your path to your destination. So having a desire, having a wanting it is critical. One of the big challenges that the first migrants have who came to Australia, for their children more so, and their grandchildren, is that when the migrants first came here, my parents, they came here for a better life. They worked and they had a desire. They knew exactly why they were here and what they were here to do. But when they have their children, the children go to better schools, get educated, and they have their homes, their cars, and all of the basic things sorted out for them by their hard-working and loving parents. But what happens is that desire that the parents had to build the wealth, to build the business in the first place, is no longer evident. And when you get to the third generation, the grandchildren, then it becomes even harder to generate the right desire. So as I say, or as the Greeks say, the first generation builds it, the second generation enjoys it, and the third generation blows it on lifestyle, because they weren't the ones who had the desire. They weren't the ones who had the dream. Their parents and grandparents had the dreams, and it's very, very hard to transmit your dream to somebody else, because at the end of the day, we all want to live our lives the way we want and to chase the dreams that we've set. But the last point that the author makes is, whatever you do, don't waste too much time overthinking it. You're better off just doing. And sooner or later, the opportunities will arise. And when those opportunities arise, when preparation meets opportunity, you need to be also ready, willing, and able to execute, to grab it with 10 fingers, but to grab it with both hands, to use both arms to hug it and bring it close to your chest and make it yours. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there. I've been talking for about half an hour now, a little bit more than what I originally thought I'd be doing. When I first started my 5 a.m. clubs, I started at about 5 minutes, and then I increased to about 10 to 12 minutes. Then I tried to keep them under 15 minutes. And now each 5 a.m. club that I do, I just can't help myself. I just enjoy myself so much talking about a topic and mulling over it that I just get to about 30 minutes before I know it. So I think I'll finish off now. I'm just on 30 minutes. But thank you very much for joining me on this special episode of Jim's 5am Club. It's the night before Valentine's Day. I wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day. And for those who have found love, make sure you keep that love and cherish it. And for those who haven't found love, keep on looking, and I hope it comes to you in a blink of an eye, in a heartbeat. And I think I'll leave it there. So take care, we'll chat again, and happy first work day of the week for tomorrow. Yassas, bye for now, and I'll just show you which track I'm on. So I'm on the Echidna loop track. I only did half of it today because I didn't want to get caught up in the dark, and just in case I got injured, that nobody would be able to come and find me. Yassas, take care, and we'll chat again. Bye for now.